I think I'm a person of faith, and what I get enjoyment from is working with young people who are on that journey, and in some way encouraging them. Hopefully just seeing young people grow in their faith is very special to me. I think that's why I always loved being a teacher. I went through school and I was very, very clear I wanted to have a career in the Air Force.
Oh, wow.
I was really excited by that and motivated by it, and I was very confident that is what I was going to do. Okay. After that, two things happened. I got a letter from the Air Force saying I wasn't accepted, and I got a letter from Teachers College saying they wanted me to come in and be a secondary school teacher.
Wow.
I found from the minute I started working in schools, I just absolutely loved it. It's I think that teachers who care about the students, it's a very natural thing. It's like you mentioned Mr. Ray.
Yeah.
Kieran was wonderful.
Oh, he was.
But there's so many wonderful teachers in that school.
Yes.
And it's because they genuinely cared about the student. I look at you and I think your parents must be really proud of you.
I hope so. I feel like at the end of the day, everything I do, not for myself, I just want to make them proud.
The goal of our school is to produce good, kind people who will go into society.
That's right.
and have confidence in themselves and know who they are, know where they're going, and respect themselves.
That's right.
Welcome to Talk with the Courageous Heart. I'm glad you are here today. Let's take a moment to breathe, settle in, and begin today's conversation.
Kia ora whanau, welcome to my brand new episode of Talk with a Courageous Heart. As I promised you last time, I do have another courageous heart. And this person is very special to me because this person was my high school principal, and he was one of the most humble guy I knew, I seen. And it was such an honor, it was such a pleasure that he is here today. And like even back then, I remember that when I was in high school, I couldn't speak in English, and for some reason he believed in me and he got me to the school. And after 10 years later, I have the opportunity, I have the honor to interview this incredible person. We will know more about him as we go through this journey together. So without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Tony Shaw. Please come in, please. How are you, Mr.?
Thanks, Andrew. See you.
Thank you for coming, Mr.
It's a pleasure.
I do really appreciate that. I thought about reaching out to you. I think at that point I only interviewed probably 10 people. I thought, oh, am I reaching to like I was like, oh, is he out of my league to just interview? I still remember that I emailed you, and I found your email through one of my friends, and I reached out to you, and I was like, oh, I told you, maybe you remember me from mission team. And he was like, you told me, oh, of course, Andrew, I do remember you. You were such an inspiration young man when you were in high school. And that means a lot to me, Mister. And thank you so much. I do really appreciate that. And you being here today, thank you so much.
That was my pleasure, Andrew.
And it means a lot to me, and I hope you know that. So how this thing works is, I ask my guests 5 questions. It's all about their life and how the courage played a huge part in their life, and how they go through whatever they went through with the courage, and how it changed their perspective of life. At the end of the 5 questions, Mister, you can ask me a question. It's optional. I should have told you before. I did not. Sorry. You can ask me a question after. It's just only optional. If you don't, that's totally fine. But before I go to questions, so I know who you are, and some people might know who you are. But if I ask you, who are you? Can you give me an answer briefly?
That's a tricky one. I think I'm a person of faith, and what I get enjoyment from is working with young people who are on that journey, and in some way encouraging them. Hopefully just seeing young people grow in their faith is very special to me. I think that's why I always loved being a teacher.
That's awesome, because one thing I always remembered you by, he's a principal. Like, that's something I still have in my mind for even after 10 years after me graduating from high school. You're a person. I mean, it was only probably around 500 kids that we had in our high school. I remember every morning when I get to school, you were in front of the gate and you greet each student by their name. And I was like, wow, he remembered everyone's name. And like, that could be a small thing, but in a way you make them feel special. And for that day, I still remember that. And thank you so much for that, mister. Yeah, so can you quickly say like what you do at the moment? Like, you don't have to mention where you work, but can you tell us what you do for work now?
Well, currently I work for the Bishop of Christchurch,
Oh, wow, okay.
Bishop Michael Gillen.
Yep.
And my main part of my job is visiting we have 35 Catholic schools in our diocese. So I visit each of those schools.
Okay.
We do what's called a Catholic special character evaluation. I work with the schools. It's like a partnership.
Yeah.
A collaboration, and we look at what's working really well and what could be in terms of, how can the school continue to be a place that really celebrates its special character, encourages young people to have a genuine encounter with Christ. That's what it's all about.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mister, you said that we have 35 Catholic schools in Canterbury. Wow, it is a big number. It is a big number. Like I never thought about that. I didn't think that we had that many.
Our diocese, it's called the Diocese of Christchurch, but it covers the west coast, and it goes down as far as Waimate in the south.
Okay.
Lovely school in Waimate.
What about Oamaru?
No, that's the Dunedin diocese.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Thank you for sharing that. So we'll go to the first question, shall we? You could have chosen many paths, but you stayed in education. What keeps you showing up for young people year after year?
I think teaching is, for me, it's definitely a vocation. It's the journey. My journey into that was quite interesting, because as a vocation, you are called to something, or I like to think of it as you're given a nudge. And I went through school, and I was very, very clear I wanted to have a career in the Air Force.
Oh, wow.
I was really excited by that and motivated by it, and I was very confident that is what I was going to do.
Okay.
And so when I was in year 13, I had been through a selection process.
Wow.
And I was down to the last 10 people. I was sent to Auckland, just waiting to hear if I would be accepted into the Air Force.
Okay.
And one day, some friends of mine said they were leaving school at lunchtime, and I had a double period of maths.
Okay.
And I said to them, where are you going? And they said, well, it's the last day to sign up for Teachers College. So we're allowed to go into town.
Sign up, okay.
I thought, I signed up for Teachers College, but I didn't want to be a teacher.
Okay, fair enough.
And then after that, two things happened. I got a letter from the Air Force saying I wasn't accepted. And I got a letter from Teachers College saying they wanted me to come in and be a secondary school teacher.
Wow.
And I freaked out, and I thought,
of course.
There's no way I could be a secondary school teacher. And I talked to my principal at the time.
Yeah.
He was a Maris brother, and he said, you definitely should be. And I said, but I can't handle teaching big kids like Andrew, I said, I can't handle these big kids, and it will be terrible. I said, if anything, I'll be a primary teacher. And he said, no, you be a secondary teacher.
Wow.
So that was my nudge.
Yeah.
It was like I was really disappointed to miss out on what I wanted, but I went into that without any desire or any plan. And then I found, from the minute I started working in schools, I just absolutely loved it. I thought you've got wonderful relationships.
Yeah.
It's, I think the job of a teacher is really important.
Yes.
And I think I just want people, everyone who's been at school, hopefully they remember one or two teachers that really inspired.
Oh my God, yes, I totally agree, because I have those two people, like those 2 or 3 or 4 teachers that I really like. I really adore them. I think one is obviously you, and one is Mr. Ray. I hope you remember that.
Yeah.
And I met him a few days ago, and he still as the same person as he will always been. And there are three other teachers that I really love. Like, yeah, I think every person has that preference, and the teacher that like who made a huge impact in their lives. So, but again, like it's so great to hear that story, because I never heard that story before. I never knew that you want to be go to Air Force. But wow, I think it was God's calling. I think.
Yeah, it's since then, and like in the last few years of when I was still in schools and when I was principal, I really tried hard I'd go up to people and I'd say, what are you going to do next year? And so many young people say, I want to be an accountant, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
And I'd say to them, have you thought about teaching? And most of them go, oh, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I'd say, look, you should think about it. You could be a really good teacher. And especially, I really want to see wonderful young people coming into our Catholic schools to be teachers.
And like, I remember you did so. Like, I remember you were very, very like easy to talk to, even when you were in high school. And I feel like in many ways you made a huge impact on those young kids' lives. Made a huge impact on my life, and I know you made a huge impact on my brother's life. So I just want to take time and thank you for that impact and that memory. You planted that memory of you, and like you being very nice. You treated me very nicely. Even I came to this school with no English background, couldn't speak any English, but you were very nice. You were very easy to talk to. Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for sharing that amazing story, Mr.
Well, thanks, Andrew. But it's I think that teachers who care about the students, it's a very natural thing. It's like you mentioned Mr. Ray.
Yeah.
Kieran was wonderful.
Oh, he was.
But there's so many wonderful teachers in that school.
Yes.
And it's because they genuinely cared about the student.
They do.
And they're prepared to do anything for them.
Exactly.
And that's why, that's what makes it really special.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you again for sharing that. And you mentioned that you are the principal, you are my principal in Cathedral College. A principal doesn't just run a school. They hold a whole community together. When things get difficult, where do you personally find the courage to lead?
I think this is where I rely on my faith. Sometimes, you're reminding people this is why we are here and this is what we believe in. And when you have a faith that Jesus loves everyone and Jesus will look after us, and it's someone once said to me my parish priest, Father Peter Head. He said, Jesus will never let you sink. And it's a really important thing, that metaphor of being in a boat and pushing out into the deep.
Yes.
When Peter gets out of the boat and he has faith, he can walk across the water towards Jesus.
Exactly.
But when he has doubts, he starts to go down. But it's that Jesus won't let you sink. So when you go through those difficult times as a school, as a community, through times like, say, when we had COVID or when we had some pretty challenging things.
No, we did, yes.
We are here for Jesus, and that we will be looked after. Remember the main things and to put our faith
always
in
first.
God.
Yeah, like I think many times that I have experienced that too. Just we being humans, that we often forget about it because we let the human side get the best out of us, and we just sometimes just try to forget about that. He's there no matter what. He won't let us sink. But we sometimes forget about that. But I always try to tell myself, God is there. Depend on Him. Thank you for sharing that, Mister, because I don't think you got enough credits how much of a big job and good job you have done in this school. And it was like, I just can't see myself doing that job because for me it is a big responsibility, but you did with every day. You did that job every day with a smile on your face. It shows me how much courage you got and you pushed through. And thank you for that.
Oh, thanks, Andrew. It's
doing that.
it's a real privilege though to work with those young people and to work with their families.
Yes, that's true.
Because you do work with the whole family, and it's like your family. I remember them well. I really enjoy, some of those situations where people have, they've lost it or they've made a mistake. They've got themselves into strife.
Yeah.
And when the family comes in and would have a meeting in my office, we'd sit around.
Yes.
I used to really enjoy those times, listening to mum and dad talk about, their struggles and their frustrations, and it's about, why they got so angry and they swore at the teacher. But it's like we're working together because we all care for that person. We love that young person.
Yeah.
And, when the family gets a sense that the school wants to work with them, it's really special.
Yeah, they feel supported. And
Yeah.
that is true. And I have a story that I want to tell you, but I'll get you that later. But before that, we'll go to third question. When we did the preparation for this interview, you told me one thing you want to share is that you were already 10 years into teaching when you choose to take a year off. What gave you the courage to walk away from comfort and step into the unknown?
Yeah, it's
I never heard that story, so I'm just hearing this story for the first time too.
I suppose it's always I'm the sort of person who, I'd say I'd be a little bit risk averse. Well, I worry about, about doing things like that. But at the time I had a mortgage and I've got this really good safe job that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
I wasn't married, I was still single. So I didn't have dependents that were relying on me. I just had a dog.
Yeah, okay.
And so the decision, I just felt I wanted to explore to see if I was doing the right thing, if there was something else I was being called to. My younger brother had, at that time, he felt a calling to go into the priesthood.
Yes.
And so he had joined a missionary order called Divine Word Missionaries.
Okay.
And I'd met a couple of his friends through that, and they really inspired me. And I thought, these were really special people.
Wow.
I thought, I've got this really comfortable job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dealing with, lovely people and lovely family, kids. And I thought I just wanted to see what it would be like to explore something else. I wrote to this order, and I knew that they had a big school in Taiwan, and a big school, 2,000 students.
Yeah.
I wrote to them and I said, could I volunteer and come and work with them?
Wow.
I wanted to see what it was like to work with a missionary, a religious missionary order.
Yeah, kind of explore where it leads.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I went there for about 3 months.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was very special.
So you were in Thailand for 3 months and teaching?
Yeah, Taiwan, yeah.
Taiwan.
But I had to learn Mandarin.
Yeah, okay.
Which wasn't very successful. They wanted to talk to me in English.
Yes. Okay.
But it was a city in Taiwan. There were no other Europeans. So I was the only one. And whenever I went anywhere, everyone would stare at me and they would want to talk to me. I was treated like a prince in a town.
I understand why, because I hope this won't come as a racist comment. I remember when I was in Sri Lanka, whenever I see someone with pale skin, we always love to talk to them. And I think that's the same thing when you were there, and they always love to talk to you. And because I'm coming from that Asian side, I see why. Because we adore the people who's visiting us, visiting our countries. I think that's why you're treated as so, and you deserve to be treated as a king because you're a great guy, you're a great person. So is there anything else?
Well, I think that was, to me, that was taking, in terms of stepping out of my comfort zone and thinking, okay, for the next 12 months, I've got to provide for myself, I've got to have, just work for a living, doing something different. Once I left Taiwan and I went to mainland China and I travelled all over China and then Russia, but it was like I'd stay somewhere for 2 or 3 days and then decide now I'm going to move on. It's like there was no fixed plan.
Oh, I see.
So it was very special. But I think just the initial decision to do that.
It takes a lot of courage.
Well, it was sort of like, what's going to happen? Who's going to, you know?
Yeah.
But it's when you put your faith in God, then everything just works out.
In a way, Mister, I'm going through that now, where I finished 2 years of my degree studies, and I was studying with Auckland, and I'm thinking I started this. So 2 months ago I started this, and I'm really enjoying this. I do really enjoy this, and I do want to take 2 years of gap year, and I'm very convinced on that. And I just want to take a 2 years of gap year before I finish my last year, and I want to see where this leads, because when I sit on this chair, I'm very proud, because for a person who couldn't speak English 10 years ago, and I'm here. I'm not trying to brag. But I'm here, and I'm interviewing you, where you're my high school principal, and there's no other honor than that. I feel like it was such a privilege to have you today, and I don't have a degree yet, but I just want to ask you, like, you knew when I was in my worst, like in terms of like I couldn't speak English or anything, but now you see me after 10 years. I guess this is a very cringe question. Are you proud of me, Mister?
Yeah, very, very. But I don't feel it doesn't have anything to do with me. I look at you and I think your parents must be really proud of you.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I feel like at the end of the day, everything I do, not for myself, I just want to make them proud. At the end of the day, it's all for them. And thank you. I think, like, you played a huge role in that, in my life story. When I was in high school, you made. I still remember when we had that initial interview before I get accepted to this college. My mom and my dad was there. I was in the room, and you were just talking to my dad. At that time, my dad was the main person who could speak English, and I was like, I couldn't understand anything. But then, for some reason, you believed in me. I don't know what made you believe in me. You took me to the school, and you told me to start from 11, even though back then I didn't want to come to school because I was already 17 years old.
Yeah.
But that was the best decision I made my entire life. I made a ton of friends. I learned English very fast. Thank you for taking that risk, and thank you for believing in me.
I think, Andrew, that good teachers who really care about their students,
Yes.
I really believe that Catholic Cathedral College had a lot of really good teachers, but a lot of schools have wonderful teachers.
Oh, yes.
But it was about, for every individual student, when you really care about them, what motivates us as teachers, we want those young people to grow in confidence and to work out who they are and where they're going, and helping people have the confidence to know they can get there. People have, if they come from a background where life has been really challenging and difficult, often they have very little confidence, or they have very low expectations.
I can relate to that so much, because when I just come to the country, I couldn't speak any English, so I had zero confidence because I thought, okay, I can go to a place, but I can't tell how I feel because I can't communicate. But I think that's where you played a huge role and got me to the school, and I had to start from the bottom, but I don't regret that. I think that was one of the best decisions my dad made me do.
Well, I think it's and I remember in that situation when you came, putting you into year 11 was really about making sure that you would pass NDA to be able to go to university.
Yeah, and I do remember that. I do remember that. And I think that was, even though back then I thought, I don't really want to go to year 11, looking back now, I know you made the perfect decision there. And I just want to say thank you too for that.
No, it's a pleasure. I mean, you did the work.
Thank you, Mister. Thank you. But you made a big role in that story, in my high school story. But thank you for saying that. We'll go to the next question, shall we? So you and your partner, how long you guys been married for? May I ask?
34 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Time flies.
Time flies, time flies. So, a long marriage means choosing each other again and again. What has courage looked like in your relationship over the years?
I think it's amazing. Yeah, it's very difficult to understand how a marriage is going to work. People only have the example of their own family.
Right.
Luckily, I was fortunate that I had a mum and dad that were always married and loved each other, and until my dad died, and my mum is still alive. But knowing that was a model that I grew up with, knowing that you stay together, it's a commitment.
Yes,
But you work together.
that's right.
And there are lots of treasures and lots of joys
That's right.
that come from that, particularly through children. And now a very, very special joy, your children have children.
That's right.
And having grandchildren, I've got 2 grandsons,
Wow.
and they just bring so much joy. It's a whole new phase of life.
You're a proud granddad.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
But my wife Kay, that's been a really special relationship over the years. And I don't know I've never thought of it in terms of courage, but it is still, we talk now about how the relationship gets better and better in time. It's like you're always growing and strengthening that bond.
I think it's more what we talk about here when I say courage, we talk about more the emotional courage where sometimes everything doesn't go, like there are times that things go downhill, but you have that emotional courage to push through and just to make it work. Wow, 33 years, that's a long time, Mr. Congratulations for you and your partner.
It seems like yesterday, Andrew.
I know, time, like you might think, oh, where the time has gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Mr. So this last question is a bit of a special one. When your students look back one day, what do you hope they remember about the way you led them?
I just hope that I wanted the people that I taught to develop a sense of confidence in themselves and a sense of self-belief. But the values of our school were always really important, and in the value of recognising God in other people and the importance of loving other people and caring for other people. Hoping that young people will be caring and compassionate.
Yeah.
It's not about, I don't think they should remember me, I think they should, as long as they remember the values education provided. The goal of our school is to produce good, kind people who will go into society.
That's right.
and have confidence in themselves and
That's right.
know who they are, know where they're going, and respect themselves.
That's right.
If you respect yourself and you respect other people, then you should have I think you should have a good life.
Good life.
Yeah.
Wow, Mr. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, wow. So I think I can actually ask the last question too. Like I have a signature question that I ask every guest that I'm interviewing, which is, what's one sentence you would say to someone who feels like giving up right now? For this question, you can relate to young people actually, and I would like you to relate to the young people because I think we need to tell them how not to give up. Like, what's one sentence you would say to someone, to a young person who feels like giving up right now?
I think, well, the first thing that springs to mind is that thing that Father Peter had said to me, like, Jesus won't let you sink. But a young person who's in a very bad space and depressed, maybe that saying isn't going to work.
Yeah.
But it's like if they can cling to their belief, if they can somehow reach back into the faith that they were brought up with. It saddens me that so many young people are so consumed by social media and things like that that they lose sight of their faith.
Yeah, that's true.
And if they can cling to that, then they won't sink. They'll come through.
In a way, just keep the hope alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Keeping that hope alive.
I think it's been for me, like personally, it's been the most challenging year this year so far in my whole life. I think one thing kept me going was that hope. I kept telling myself, just be hopeful. There will, of course, that you're going through a hard time. After every hard time, there'll be a good time. I think that hope kept me alive, keep going. So thank you for sharing that. I do appreciate that, Mister. So now, it's the part that where you can ask me a question. You can ask me any question, but it is only optional. But do you have a question for me, Mister?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time, Andrew?
Wow. It's crazy because one of my guests asked me that question too. I think in 5 years' time, I have a few goals. One goal is I want to have family in 5 years' time. The other goal is that I want to build something for myself. And this podcast itself is a small plan of a big plan. So I do really like to start a business one day, and I'm just taking baby steps. So I just want to be happy. I just want to have a good family life, good family, good partner, that I can be open and a partner who believe in me and support me through thick and thin, and build something to myself, to my family, so that I can spend those time with those precious time with my family most of the time. So I think that is my goal at the moment, and I do really want to explore my possibilities with this podcast in terms of bringing this to other countries, not just in Christchurch, not just in New Zealand. So I'm a person who dreams a lot. I do dream big a lot, and I also take actions towards that dreams. So that is my 5-year future plan at the moment. I hope that I kind of answered you, gave you a good answer.
Andrew, you're a really good person.
Thank you.
And good things come along and good things happen to good people.
Thank you so much, Mr.
So I'm confident you'll be good.
Coming from you, it means a lot. I hope you know that.
I'm sure you'll be fine, Andrew.
Thank you so much, Mister. Thank you so much. I do really appreciate that.
Thanks for inviting me along to this podcast.
No, Mister. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for believing in me. And you, in a way, you took a risk and coming here today. And I do really appreciate that. I do really honor that. And it's nice to feel supported by your high school principal, even though it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mister. Thank you so much.
It's great to see you again.
It's great to see you, Mister.
Yeah.
You're still young. you look very young. I don't know what your secret is, Mister. Share with us.
Working with young people, working in schools, it's such a pleasure.
Yeah.
And I think it just keeps, the energy is always there. You get so much energy from young people.
That is right, because me, like Aoife, who is behind the camera, we work with kids. We can't relate to what you guys do, but we work with kids. It keeps us joy, every day. Dealing with young people gives us joy. We get different people, like few kids, there are some kids that are very joyful to be around, and there are some kids that we get very anxious. Then we have to make sure that they're okay. We have to reassure them they're going to be okay. In a way that's right. It is, at the end of the day, it's self-rewarding.
Maybe you should be a teacher.
Maybe I should think about it.
Yeah, you should think about it.
Actually, I do want to be a secondary school teacher because you and other teachers that inspired me to be a secondary school teacher when I was in high school. But I don't know. I should give it a thought. I'll let you know how it goes. Again, Mister, thank you so much. We had a good time today.
Yeah, I did.
And I'm very grateful that you're here. But before I leave, I just want to thank you for the owners of this beautiful place, Petai Street Cafe and Dine. And thank the owners. I'm thanking the owners for letting me borrow this beautiful place. If you're ever in Christchurch or in the city, just give these guys a try. They have good food, good coffee. It's just right next to the new stadium in Christchurch. In saying that, thank you for tuning in today. I hope we were able to inspire some young lives. So thank you for tuning in. We will leave you with, I will leave you with a promise that I'll be back with another courageous heart. Until then, be safe, be courageous. God bless you. Thank you, Mr.
Amen.
It was great, Mr. It was great.
Good to see you.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Andrew.
much. Thank you. I really enjoyed that.
This podcast is still growing, so every follow and share truly means a lot. Thank you for listening to Talk with a Courageous Heart.